Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw's 10 Things You Need to Know About Wrestling. This week, your one-stop shop for wrestling results, news, and more. If you don't watch any of our recaps throughout the week, you can just watch this. So basically, we're trying to eliminate the audience that drives a lot of revenue to the channel all to this one single show. Probably a terrible business move.
You know, I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah. We might want to rethink this.
Well, do it once, and if all our numbers tank, then we'll reconsider.
Then we'll yank it right back away from you. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to hop into it. We've got all your weekly results right here. Let's get started.
All right.
Number 10. Ring of Honor sells out Madison Square Garden.
So, yeah, this is pretty huge. We talked about this a bit on our Friday news show.
Yeah.
And it seems like the MSG show that's being co-promoted by Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Sold out a matter of anywhere between 13 and 16 minutes after the general on sale, according to the Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer. We had heard that the show sold about 12,000 seats.
Yeah.
Based on the 2 days of pre-sales.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's going to be super huge for the people that bought those tickets exclusively to see the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and then that day they're going to be in the crowd at TakeOver.
Well, they weren't even advertised for the show. So
I know, but come on, man. Ring of Honor, New Japan, Young Bucks are the biggest stars in both those promotions, and they're totally not going to be there. Because they're going to sign with WWE. However, this is really big. This is huge news. WWE, I can't imagine Vince is going to be too super happy about this, though, because he tried to get this stopped in the first place.
Yep.
And then it upstages WWE. This is not just the quickest sellout, like for a non-WWE wrestling. This is the quickest pro wrestling sellout at Madison Square Garden ever. So, wowie wow, that's huge.
It's pretty huge. But yeah, then again, who knows? If as we said, Kenny and the Young Bucks are going to be there. Mm-hmm. They're not advertised.
Yeah.
So it's up in the air. The Young Bucks contract with Ring of Honor expires in November, I believe. Kenny Omega's contract with New Japan expires end of January, I believe. It's entirely possible they could all remain. It's entirely possible they could all be headed to the WWE.
Cha-ching, cha-ching. Also, for sort of tangentially related to this, this week's Being the Elite episode featured the announcement for the broadcasting rights for All In. There was some concern when the tickets sold out in what was it, like 30 seconds?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay. When the tickets to All In sold out so quickly, how was everybody going to be able to see it? Well, they made arrangements. It's going to be on pay-per-view and available via the Fight app, which I love. Fight app is amazing.
Yeah, but also it's going to be on WGN America, the first hour of the show.
The first hour of the show is going to be like your teaser. That's cool, though.
Your
WGN,
kickoff
that's
show,
neat,
kind of, yeah.
Because they're out of Chicago. Mm-hmm. That's where WGN is.
Mm-hmm. Used to watch a lot of Cub games on WGN growing up.
Yeah. They had one cool original show, or at least one, about the development of the nuclear bomb.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
That was pretty cool.
Manhattan Project?
Yeah, a lot of it was like fiction. I think it was called Manhattan, maybe. A lot of it was sort of fictionalized. Certain characters, historically speaking, were merged into fake characters.
Did you ever see the movie they made about that?
No, I didn't.
It's good.
Is it good stuff?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in like 25 years, but I remember it being pretty good.
Is that the Manhattan Project?
No, I think it's
that
called...
was like a speculative one, right?
Yeah, that was great too. That's a cheesy 80s sci-fi movie. I think this one's called Fat Man and Little Boy.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it.
That's what they named the two bombs.
Yeah.
And I think Paul Newman's in it.
Oh, that's cool. Right on.
If I remember correctly, John Cusack. Now I want to find out. Anyways, continue on to the next story. You're the Impact authority here. Continue on, Steve.
Number 9. Austin Aries retains. Here's your Impact results for the week. I watched half of Impact. I'm hoping to watch the rest of it when I go home today. But
yeah, Paul Newman and John Cusack.
It was a slam bang first half, anyways. So let's see here. We had Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier from New Japan, in this very successful New Japan Impact cross promotional partnership.
Well, it hasn't really
Larson.
happened yet.
Anyways, Bone Soldier and Petey Williams won against the Desi Hit Squad. I actually saw this match. Lots of fun. It featured at least one Canadian destroyer.
Well, it's Petey Williams. It should feature a multitude of Canadian destroyers.
Not if it's a loss for him, but this is a Petey Williams win. So, yes, it was cool. It was a Canadian destroyer, and the dude sort of like got back up, and then Ishimori hit his finish on him. I don't know what it's called.
That's cool.
The Bone Soldier or something.
Is Petey Williams a Bullet Club?
Not yet, but if he ever goes to New Japan in the junior division,
maybe
he should. Also, Tessa Blanchard beat Alicia Edwards. Pentagon Jr. beat Matt Sydal.
That sounds like a good match.
That was probably a really good match. And then world champ himself, Austin Aries, beat Eddie Edwards. Now, I guess I don't have to watch it. See, I just have to watch this show.
And then you get all the results.
You don't have to watch Impact.
Yeah, we're probably shooting ourselves in the foot by doing this, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
This is from Wrestling Inc. Despite the, as you said, at least the first half of the show, enjoyable, did not draw eyeballs.
Oh, no.
For Thursday's episode of Impact Wrestling, drew the second lowest number in the show's history for original run, first run episode, 168,000 viewers, down 80,000 from the previous week.
Is there any speculation as to why that would have been, beyond it being Impact Wrestling?
Thursday, right?
Yeah.
There's no sports, just baseball. That's more of a regional thing, though.
Wow, that's surprising. They need to hurry up and bring Chris Jericho in.
There was an episode of Big Brother on last night.
Doesn't that air on Pop?
No, After Dark does, yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what is funny about Impact this week, though? It started with like a super violent brawl between the OGs and LAX, right? There's like one dude who's power bombed down like a stairwell. And
oh my
stuff.
gosh,
it was cool. It was brutal and it was really cool. But while it was happening, because it was the very start of the show, the TV PG logo flashed, and I was like, "How is this not TV?" I guess does it go straight from PG to MA?
Maybe.
I thought it was like a TV.
Is there 14?
14? I think it was a 14.
So wait, did they flash the rating after the beatdown or during?
It was during the beatdown.
Oh, if they'd done it after, they could have got the TV 14 aspect out of the way and then said, all right, from here on out.
Yeah.
His TV.
There was literally like a headshot happening when it came up. It was like a chair to headshot that happened when it came up. But I don't care. It was a lot of fun. I think I had to. That's weird. I guess that's one thing about Impact. They they have a lot of commercials and they have a lot of recaps. I think I turn it off during.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour show and there was 5 matches, 4 matches.
Yeah, I know. They need. I don't like. I know they got a TV deal of some sort with Pop.
Tighten it up a little bit.
Might be a verbal agreement. They do need to bring it down to like an hour. They really. I think they have enough great material for like an hour, and that's kind of it. So anyways, yeah, that's a lot of fun. Impact Wrestling, check it out. Number 8. What's up with Mustafa Ali? Ooh, we get to talk about 205 Live now?
Yeah.
Fun.
Another great episode of 205 Live. Was it last week, I believe? We saw some pictures on Twitter of Mustafa Ali in the hospital.
Mystery ailment.
Yeah. Ali said was, the caption of the photo was, "I always kick out at 2."
Yeah.
And he's in the hospital, has an IV in his arm.
Yeah.
But no word on why he was admitted to the hospital. But they took that picture and wrapped it in the storyline. Because early in the show, Drake Maverick goes to Mustafa Ali, asks, "Are you okay? You sure you're fine to compete tonight? You were just in the hospital." Mustafa Ali's like, "I'm good, man.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Let's go."
Yeah.
He's
pretty cocky about it too.
Hell of a match against Hideo Itami. Probably Hideo Itami's best match since he signed with WWE.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mustafa Ali is always good for an awesome match. He's great.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But then at one point early in the match, he kind of acted like he was unsteady on his feet. In the finish of the match, he was going up for an 054, his finisher, lost his balance. Hideo Itami took advantage and knocked him off the top rope. 3 corner missile drop kicks and the pin for Hideo Itami. Afterwards, Mustafa Ali tries to get up, collapses in the ring. Drake Maverick comes out. You know, he's upset about it, calls out medical staff. Show ends that way. So I don't know exactly what direction they're going to go with this. In terms of how long they're going to do this is Mustafa Ali healthy storyline.
Yeah.
What the exact nature of it is going to be.
I like it. It's different, though.
Yeah, it is different.
It's a little bit different.
It's different. And it really plays up the aspect that he is the heart of 205 Live. Like, it takes 10 finishers, it seems like, to keep him down if he's going to lose. He has to take a lot of punishment. And it kind of feeds into that storyline as well. So not only is he taking a lot of punishment inside the ring, outside the ring, apparently something happened to him bad enough they had to be admitted to the hospital. Yeah. So it's on multiple fronts. He's dealing with, some sort of ailments to his body.
Yeah. No, it is going to be interesting where they take it. I said this before on our 205 Live recap. I've said this before. 205 Live is like the one WWE show. I mean, NXT also, but the takeovers are kind of the thing about NXT. But 205 Live, they put all their great matches on that 1 hour of TV every single week. The entire show is in that 1 hour. And so if you're looking for one WWE show, you only have to commit to 1 hour per week, and that's it, nothing more. it's 205 Live if you want some really, really great wrestling in front of a very lukewarm crowd.
Yeah.
But,
in the match, like the main event,
crowd gets into it.
Yep.
Yeah, they started getting into it.
The match is good. The crowd gets into it. Now let's run down briefly the other matches from 205 Live. The Body Guys.
Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese.
Over Lucha House Party via roll-up from Tony Nese to Kalisto.
Yep.
And then Noam Dar hit his finisher, beat Sean Maluda.
The debuting 205 Live's Sean Maluda, who's probably not actually debuting. He was just there to be enhancement talent. But, man, that Noam Dar, he is jacked.
Oh, man, is he jacked.
Man, jacked.
Jacked.
Moving on, number 7. Tag team match of the year, maybe. Thebar versus New Day.
At least in WWE main roster, yeah. I think it was.
Live.
Because it was phenomenal. They gave this match, 35 minutes? 20 minutes, 25 minutes? Because introduction started, 25 past the hour? Mm-hmm. So including introductions, 35 minutes. Took 2 commercial breaks.
Yeah, no, it was
so 3 segments.
It was fantastic. The crowd was, I mean, that's one thing maybe about 205 Live, that the crowd might have been dead because they were exhausted from that match. It was a hot crowd for that match. And it's funny because, like, too often WWE gets the knock for having such a great roster that the WWE doesn't let do a whole lot. But when you take a look at SmackDown Live's tag team division, Thebar, Usos, New Day, Sanity, even though they don't really use them a whole lot.
Club.
In the Club, those are some of the best tag teams on the planet. Mm-hmm. Raw has a bunch of comedy acts. Mm-hmm. But those 5 right there, some of the best tag teams on the planet are on SmackDown Live. Because you look across the spectrum of, the rest is like New Japan. They've got the Young Bucks. They're great.
Guerrillas of Destiny, pretty good.
They're pretty damn good.
Killer Elite Squad, pretty good.
They're good. But you look across
Evil and Sonata.
Yeah, they're good. But man, SmackDown Live is where it's at for tag team wrestling.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean? So geez. So yeah, that was absolutely hot. My favorite bit about that match was afterwards, Michael Hayes got on Twitter and heaped much Freebird praise on it. If anybody knows about good tag team wrestling, it's the Freebird, Michael Hayes, who's also, of course, a producer at SmackDown Live. I really hope he produced that match, because for him to then get on Twitter and
say how
hype
great
it up,
was, more or less just pat himself on the back. Yes.
I did a great job. I got to reach into my fanny pack and give myself 5 stars for that match. Moving on, number 6. Miz versus Daniel Bryan confirmed. Here's our SmackDown recap.
Yeah, so it was kind of odd that at first when Daniel Bryan challenged The Miz to a match at SummerSlam, The Miz says no. And then early this week, he posted a video on Twitter saying no and said, I'm going to have an announcement as far as what I'm going to do at SummerSlam coming up. Mm-hmm. And then early on in SmackDown, he shows up in the Titantron from the set of Miz and Mrs. backstage, saying, I've negotiated, my agent, have negotiated with Paige, I guess, and they've come to terms. I will be taking on Daniel Bryan. Yeah. It was just an odd way to push on that storyline.
Like, it's believable when Lesnar negotiates, not believable when The Miz negotiates.
Exactly.
For a guy who's known as company guy, for him to have to negotiate is a bit on the silly side, but it plays into his current role of like
Hollywood A-lister
with a reality show on USA. I'm not sure I'd consider Crisley a Hollywood A-lister. He's sort of in the same realm as The Miz at this point.
Yeah.
In terms of his Hollywood status, though.
Yes.
What list would Crisley be on?
Like the list of celebrities that show up on like Hollywood Game Night.
G H what's
C
what's
minus?
before?
No,
C minus.
Yeah.
Wow.
D. C minus D.
Where's Pauly Shore on that list?
Oh man.
Other matches.
That's a separate list. I don't know. It's a completely separate list of people that used to be like B through D.
Where are we on that list?
Oh, Z.
The F list.
Oh, my phone.
We're on the F list. Other matches on SmackDown that went down.
First, let's talk about this, because later on, Byron Saxton was conducting an interview.
We didn't even get to the point of the story.
Yeah, Byron Saxton was conducting an interview with Miz, I guess via satellite, even though they're in the same building. And during which the Miz was talking a bunch of trash about Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan invades the set of Miz and Mrs. backstage, and
the piece of artwork was there as well, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
That seascape painting that's been
seascape
on
painting, yeah.
My goodness, it's knocking everything left and right.
My goodness gracious. For a pilot episode, you're a jittery mess.
I'm just trying to have some energy here.
It's good.
It's hard to contain.
It's good. Yeah. Anyways, the match is confirmed. Miz said yes.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan comes and attacks everybody.
Yeah.
Miz breaks a vase over Daniel Bryan's head.
Boz.
Yeah, so it's on, and it'll be great.
Other
match of the night, match of the card at SummerSlam, yay or nay? Yay.
I can't do that anymore. I can't. It's all going to be underwhelming. It's either going to be that or AJ Joe. It's going to be that or AJ Joe.
It could be Seth, Dolph, and Drew if they make a triple threat.
I have zero faith in the Seth and Drew producers.
It's true.
Zero faith in them.
Yeah, that Iron Man match was not good.
Other matches on SmackDown, Becky and Charlotte continued their sort of road to SummerSlam by teaming together to take on the Iconics, and they won. Also, Zelina Vega won over Lana, thanks once again to Aiden English's hapless attempt at helping out Rusev Day.
He should have stayed backstage, especially after Rusev forgave him but said, stay backstage.
Aiden English is a mess.
He should heed Rusev.
Shinsuke Nakamura beat R-Truth.
There was a pretty funny backstage bit between Nakamura and R-Truth and Ty Dillinger as well.
Worth checking out, yeah.
Yes.
The Bludgeon, this is my match of the night. Bludgeon Brothers over my non-main event match of the night. Bludgeon Brothers over 3SK, a trio of local enhancement jobbers.
Oh man, tons of character.
And at least two of them one of them definitely, Baby Santino, got messed up big time.
He got dropped right on his face and then took a spill over the top rope, lower back, right on the corner of the ring apron. It looked painful.
And then AJ Styles issued his response to Samoa Joe.
Great promo.
In a fantastic old school type promo, which Samoa Joe, while watching on the TV, laughed it off. Ha 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 ha. Wasn't really a Samoa Joe impression.
No.
But yeah, so it's either going to be them or Ms. Bryan. I'd like to say Ms. Bryan, but whoever's producing it. If it's the Freebird producing it, then I have faith in it.
If it's TJ Wilson, I have faith in
I have faith in it, but I think he produces Raw.
Yeah, maybe.
Moving on, number 5.
Some injury updates.
Ambrose and Jason Jordan. One injury update is yay, the other one is sadly nay.
Yeah, we talked about this a bit on Monday's news show. PW Insider was reporting that Dean was expected to return to action within like the month. Possibility he can show up at SummerSlam. And then Raja.com said he was, again, about a month out. Can't rule out an appearance at SummerSlam. And then he might be involved helping out Seth to battle Dolph and Drew. But that, I guess the end game for that would be a heel turn for Dean and a feud with Rollins, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then Cage Side Seats confirmed that, quote, speculation that they're building to a Dean Ambrose return to help Seth Rollins for a program with Dolph and Drew. And then Wrestling Observer newsletter this week said Ambrose should be back any week now. While nobody has directly said this to us, it does appear they're setting up Rollins needing a partner to go against Ziggler and McIntyre.
So he just watches Raw.
Yeah.
Well, nobody is. That's twice in the same newsletter. He says, well, nobody's actually saying anything. Chris Jericho is confirmed headed to Impact.
I know.
While nobody's saying anything to us, it appears Rollins. Sadly, I've made my thoughts about Jason Jordan fairly clear. I don't really miss him, but I'm sad that the guy apparently will not be returning anytime soon. His neck injury after surgery is worse than expected. He is not returning anytime soon.
That's a bummer.
That is an absolute bummer.
Those neck injuries, man.
He was in WWE developmental for a very long time, going back to the very beginning of NXT.
As a member of American Alpha.
Yeah,
they were great together in NXT. They were
they were fantastic.
Hugely over.
They were fantastic.
And it's a bummer that they got brought up to main as just kind of generic baby faces.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with them creatively. Now Gable's nowhere to be found. He's not even in the losers locker room, is he? He wasn't even in there.
He hasn't been on Raw in weeks.
No, he hasn't. I think he's been. Did he team with Kanellis this past week?
Oh, on main event.
On main event.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So
maybe that's something we should start including on here is main event results.
Oh man, we should do like a full recap of that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Work in progress. So yeah, no, it's an absolute bummer. He was. I will agree with you on this. He was definitely finding his
stride.
His stride as a character on Raw. He's a terrific wrestler, and hopefully, it'll just get better from here, and he will make a comeback at some point.
Yeah, neck injuries are when you start getting into the nerves and discs and stuff.
Nothing to mess with, man.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah,
that could get messed up.
Nothing to mess with. Let's see here. Other.
No, that's it.
No. Oh yeah, we're doing Raw later. Number 4.
4.
Who attacked Aleister Black? We've got the whodunit of the late summer, Larson. This is very exciting.
This is my favorite story going on in all of WWE right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just started. So, we heard last week about Aleister Black's injury. At first, we heard you heard he got crotched by Tommaso Ciampa, and something went horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah.
He needed surgery. You weren't sure the nature of the injury until Pro Wrestling Sheet said groin tear.
All we knew is that it had something to do with the under area.
The front area, maybe.
The front area, perhaps.
And so we all thought, well, if he tore his groin, he's not going to be able to make it to TakeOver.
Right.
Even though on NXT this week, they announced a triple threat match as the main event for TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
Yeah.
But then, after the show, video went up, WWE's social media, YouTube as well, showing Aleister Black post-beatdown, lying unconscious in some sort of parking lot area. And in that initial video, there was already a couple people lingering or fleeing the area.
Hold on. Don't call them people. They are suspects.
Suspects, sorry. First, Johnny Gargano walks past William Regal as Regal leaves Full Sail. Mm-hmm. Second, Undisputed Era
Drive away in a convertible,
playing their own music. Third, Heavy Machinery coming to the scene, seemingly to check and also to videotape.
Yeah.
Sorry, to videotape.
To videotape.
To record.
Camera phone?
What was going on.
Yeah.
And Otis Dozovic called Aleister Black.
Allie.
And then they released a second video.
But no, even in that first video, so if we had brightened it, you could see Aleister Black in the background, like in the far distance.
No, he's on the ground.
No, I'm sorry. Lars Sullivan.
Lars
Sullivan. He is on. You're right. Aleister Black's on the ground. Lars Sullivan in the far background.
Gotcha.
And then, yes, like you said, they released a second video where the entire rest of the roster was milling about.
And then the third one where Kathy Kelly hosts it, where she analyzes the video and points out everybody in it.
It is
all suspects.
I'll put it in the description. It is a must-watch video.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So that you can become WWE NXT head sleuth and start doing your own Law & Order-esque detective work.
What was Angela Lansbury's name in Murder, She Wrote? Do you remember?
Wasn't it Angela something?
Don't think so.
I think it was, man. Hold on a second.
She was a writer, a novelist.
Yeah. But I thought they took the easy way out on that one and just used her freaking.
I think
still
so.
old? I mean, is she still? Oh my gosh, she's 92. She's still alive. That's amazing. Oh man.
I mean, you're taking a long way to this. She's got a long career.
Yeah, no kidding. Murder, She Wrote. Here you go. Jessica Fletcher.
That's right.
That's right. Good job, man. Good for her. Hopefully, she's like going on walks every day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is fascinating. On yesterday's show, we ran down our top 10 suspects, and I believe number 1 was Johnny Gargano.
Yeah,
Johnny wrestling himself.
Storyline makes him and Lars Sullivan storyline wise makes the most sense.
Yeah, although I do want to point out, don't underestimate Candice LeRae. Could be her.
Yeah,
huge heel turn. Or Cassius Ohno.
Yeah.
Anyways, what else happened on NXT?
A lot. Nikki Cross took on Amber Nova, won with a swinging neck breaker.
Amber Nova, somebody to keep an eye out. Somebody in the comments mentioned she had been on Impact earlier this year.
Oh.
And that's where I think I had seen her. Maybe she wasn't on NXT. It was maybe...
Cassius Ohno beat Adrian... Jaoud, sorry, with
I love that name.
Dream Crusher elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee made his NXT debut, beating Marcel Bartel.
Again, don't rule out Marcel Bartel. Germany shares a border with Netherlands. That could be a dispute there.
Oh,
I don't know how friendly those countries are.
Whatever. With a jackhammer, Tainara Conti beat Vanessa Bourne to earn herself the last spot in the Mae Young Classic. And then the main event saw Aleister Black defeat Johnny Gargano by disqualification after Tommaso Ciampa interfered.
And then Johnny Gargano or somebody defeated Aleister Black in a
Johnny Gargano
in a public
parking lot brawl.
In a public eating area brawl.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a food court brawl.
Yeah, I think it was a quad, wasn't it? Was it like
kind
little
of
tables there?
We've seen it before. It's kind of like it looks like a city set. Like a back lot of Full Sail. Seems to be right next to Full Sail Live.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Anyways, moving on.
Number 3, Steve.
Number 3. Is Roman Reigns actually getting over?
He might be with me. As long as he keeps sucker punching Baron Corbin, I'm going to be a fan.
Roman, if you're watching, keep on sucker punching. I'll be honest with you. Anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just... Although there's bonus points for
ideally Baron Corbin.
There's bonus points for that. But really, any hapless heel. Are there any other hapless heels? Because Baron Corbin does have hapless written all over him. Who's another hapless heel?
Jinder
Kevin
is.
Owens and Jinder.
Yeah.
They're both... So sucker punch people.
Yeah, just sucker punch anybody.
Yeah, pretty much sucker punching, and you'll get over with me.
So it was a Roman heavy episode of Raw, but unlike previous Roman heavy episodes of Raw, I didn't mind it so much.
Yeah, that was decent. That
Yeah,
was good.
they made the right call, not letting him tag with Seth.
Mm-hmm. I was about to pick up Roman, and you're holding
I already
him.
have him.
Good job.
So we didn't have Roman overexposure, but he opened the show taking on Baron Corbin, beat him. He had an interview segment that was pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
The aforementioned segment where he sucker punched Baron Corbin for the second week in the row, and he walks away kind of laughing to himself, saying, "Hey, you could better get checked out by the trainer." He seemed loose. He seemed casual.
Yeah.
He seemed comfortable.
Yeah.
And
We saw him laugh.
yeah, a lot of that has been missing.
Yeah, I know. I could just watch him laugh, and I'll be cool. From now on, this the Raw results area, can I go back to doing...
If you really want to.
And then you say...
Raw cap.
There you go. See? We can bring back the old stuff. Nostalgia. It's a hell of a drug.
It is a hell of a drug.
Exactly.
So this, they're setting up for the main event, I'm assuming, of SummerSlam, Roman versus Brock for the third time this year.
Mm-hmm.
Is it working? Is Reigns starting to get over a little bit?
Well, I said this before. I think Vince is winning this one. I think just the natural sort of...
Are you actually going to bet against Brock this time?
No, God, no. No, I think they're betting. I think that, their worst case scenario is Brock defends a handful of times more between now and
Mania next year.
Mania, if at all. But they'll do this sort of Brock holding out thing with the title. Maybe they'll do an interim thing, but maybe not. I think their best case scenario is Brock holds Universal title till UFC. If he wins that, then and this is to the benefit of both the UFC and the WWE, he'll hold both titles. That's what Paul Heyman hints at. By the way, Paul Heyman had the promo maybe of the year.
Yeah, we're going to get to that next.
Okay. And so, no, I'm not going to bet against Brock because I think WWE thinks they could have a promotional bonanza with that Universal title / UFC title. Mm-hmm. And I think Brock could make a lot of money off that. I think WWE can get a lot of great exposure off that. So I think they're waiting to see what happens with that, which probably means that Universal title... There is the possibility. So when is he supposed to be fighting for that UFC title? December? January?
January. When ESPN starts broadcasting UFC
he
stuff.
defends in August. It wouldn't surprise... Maybe they could do... It could be interesting. No, he wouldn't fight in the WWE in the lead up to UFC.
No, he's going to be in fight camp. He's not going to be. He's not going to wrestle again until Mania.
Yeah. What they could do to satisfy both things is interim title, but Brock keeps his Universal title.
Interim title on. They do thing. Roman gets it for sure, and then you have a champion versus champion thing at Mania.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they should do.
Yeah, that's what they should do. There you go. We just booked it. Talk about Paul Heyman.
Yeah, number two.
Paul Heyman might be getting an Oscar.
Well, no, he didn't do it in a movie, but he might have deserved one.
It would be an Emmy because it's on TV. Emmy for guest appearance.
There you go. Special guest appearance by Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
Outstanding performance and a special guest appearance. Winner, Paul Heyman.
So Paul Heyman gave an interview on Raw.
He was teary-eyed, looked like he hadn't slept in a week.
Oh, it was great.
His eyes were all bloodshot, as if he had been crying nonstop.
It was magnificent.
He was interviewed by Renee Young about the fallout of Lesnar seemingly turning on him the previous week on Raw. At first, Renee Young was pursuing a line of questioning that was very heavy on Brock's point of view. Yeah. Heyman says, we shouldn't be talking about this. Yeah. Renee Young pivoted to focusing on Heyman's mindset. He responded to those questions. But in the end, he culminated with, Brock's never been more focused, never been more violent. Roman Reigns doesn't stand a chance. Yeah. And he kind of puts his head back and exhales, and that's when the interview ends on Raw. However, WWE.com released an extended clip or after he sighed and put his head back, he stops and says, says, all right, thank you, goodbye.
Yeah.
And Renee Young says, unless
Unless what?
Unless Roman Reigns does what?
Does what? So, of course, I love that. It's a little Easter egg that they throw in on their .com to get people to pay attention. I love that. I think it's great. What is the unless? Unless what, Larson? Power rank.
Well, I'm assuming unless
he has a plan for Roman Reigns to take advantage of Brock Lesnar's situation somehow. Either, it's going to be an interesting. Next week's is Monday the go home?
Yeah, go home.
Monday's the go home.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. Could be some sort of plot twist there.
Yes.
We'll see how that all works out.
I mean, I think the most obvious outcome of SummerSlam is that this is all a big work, a big swerve. Heyman is going to end up costing Reigns the belt. So Reigns can still say, I'm the uncrowned Universal Champion.
Yeah.
They keep that belt on Lesnar all the way through till Mania to take advantage of the promotional opportunities presented by this UFC fight.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen. And then they can do the interim title,
probably.
so on and so forth.
I think, look, regardless with that unless there, I think, and they'll run that unless on the next Raw.
Yeah.
It will. It should be fun. I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah.
It is just from like observing the WWE from a business standpoint. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Brock Lesnar. Obviously, he's sort of operating on some sort of non-contract only, dates appearance thing, and he's their Universal Champion. So it's all pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I hope we get to see at least one more shot of him reading a magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Other results from Raw. Roman Reigns actually took on Baron Corbin prior to him sucker punching him, and he won, of course, in a pretty damn good match, too.
Yeah, they gave it a lot of time.
They gave it a lot of time. Bobby Roode beat Mojo Rawley with his glorious DDT to stay out of the losers locker room. Rezar beat Titus O'Neil
with the spine buster.
Jinder Mahal over Braun Strowman in an overbooked Kevin Owens interfering type thing match. It was by DQ. Braun and Kevin were sort of arguing over the Money in the Bank briefcase. Braun ripped it away from Kevin Owens, accidentally or incidentally hit Jinder Mahal, which got Braun DQ'd. So it's 2 weeks in a row Jinder Mahal's picked up a win over Braun Strowman.
Correct.
Albeit in non-dominating fashion. And then Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler beat Seth Rollins, who ended up not being able to find a partner. Roman Reigns was going to be his partner. And then
Stephanie said no.
Yeah.
We need to keep our main event for SummerSlam safe. Roman, you can't be Seth's partner. Seth took on Drew and Dolph himself.
Yeah.
In the end, ate a super kick, took the pin.
Yep. Next up, we had B Team versus the Revival. Ended up in a double DQ thanks to interference by the Deleters of Worlds.
Yeah.
And then the Riot Squad, thanks to the returning Ruby Riott, who returned from injury, beat Sasha Banks and Bayley. And then, of course, we had Ronda Rousey making her WWE Raw in-ring debut, beating in dominating fashion Alicia Fox.
Yes.
And then at the end, Alexa Bliss tried to attack Ronda Rousey and failed. So, yeah. Which brings us to number one. G1 update. Who's going to win the G1? The finals are tonight.
Sunday morning.
Saturday night.
Sunday morning. So by the time this goes up, we will know who will have won the B block. That happens tonight. We're shooting this on Friday. So Hiroshi Tanahashi won the A block, withstood Kazuchika Okada, 30-minute time limit draw. And what I hear is a fabulous match.
Ooh.
Gotta check it out. So he's advancing to the finals on the 12th. As of Friday, this is what the B block looks like. This is a lineup for the final show. You have Yano versus Tama Tonga, Juice Robinson versus Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii versus Sonata. And these last two matches have quite a bit of bearing on who's going to win this whole thing. You got Tetsuya Naito, who has 12 points, record of 6-2, versus Zack Sabre Jr., who has 10 points, record of 5-3. And then you have Kenny Omega, 12 points, 6-2 record, versus Kota Ibushi, 10 points, 5-3. So thanks to SE Scoops, they broke down all the tiebreaker scenarios.
Okay.
So Kenny, to win the block and advance to the finals, if he beats Kota he wins.
That's it, straight up.
If he and Kota wrestle to a draw, and Naito loses or has a draw against Zack Sabre Jr., Kenny wins the block. Kenny holds tiebreakers over Naito and Sabre Jr. Tetsuya Naito, he needs to win. He needs Omega to lose or draw. If he and Sabre draw, then he needs a draw between Omega and Ibushi as well. And then Kota Ibushi, the only way he can advance is by beating Omega. Zack Sabre Jr. needs to beat Naito. That's the only way that works. He holds a tiebreaker over both Zack Sabre Jr. and Naito. And yeah. So
okay.
It's complicated here at the end. We have 3 people who could, well, actually 4. No, I think Zack Sabre Jr., I don't think he could advance. I think everybody else holds tiebreakers against him.
Yeah.
So we have 3 competitors of the 4 competitors involved in these 2 matches who could all advance to the finals on the 12th.
Yeah.
Who's your money on?
Kota Ibushi. I think we're going to get Kenny versus Kota Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom. Because he said that that's the only stage that a rivalry that big can take place, and I think he said it to the WWE after Wrestle Kingdom. That's my thoughts on that. What do you see?
I'm going to say this, and this is with 0 confidence points. I think Kenny's going to win it. He's going to win the block. He's going to win the tournament. So we still get our Omega Tanahashi match with huge stakes. Maybe not Wrestle Kingdom, but huge stakes. And then since Kenny wins the tournament, then he picks his opponent for Wrestle Kingdom, Kota Ibushi.
Oh, okay. All right.
But he retains at Wrestle Kingdom. The champion goes over Wrestle Kingdom. Or it could be Tanahashi winning the tournament.
If Kota Ibushi ends up moving on to the finals against Tanahashi, there's not a chance in hell Tanahashi wins, because Tanahashi already won against Kota Ibushi at Dominion.
No, it wasn't Dominion, but it was earlier this year.
Earlier this year.
Yeah.
Who did Kota Ibushi fight at Dominion?
Don't recall.
Okay, me neither. But it was a high-profile match. That Kota Ibushi was all, genuflecting before freaking Tanahashi. So Kota Ibushi will beat Tanahashi. If Naito wins, the Naito story is pretty interesting. I thought going in they were going to continue that thread of Naito sort of sucking ass lately.
But he's been on quite a run.
He's been on quite a tear. So maybe the story is actually he's having a hard time coming up in big situations. That could be his story, as opposed to him just being a scrub. Nobody's going to think Naito's going to be the next Yoshihashi.
Here's the thing, though, because Ishii beat Kenny Omega in a really physical match. So that probably means Ishii's getting a title shot at King of Pro Wrestling. And I thought that was going to be Ibushi's spot. Because as much as I would love to see Ibushi Omega at Wrestle Kingdom, I was kind of pessimistic about the chances of that happening. But I guess maybe I might feel a bit more comfortable heading in that direction, seeing that Ishii beat Kenny, and we'll probably get a title shot.
Do we know
at King
when
of Pro
is the
Wrestling.
last time the champion walked into the G1 and won?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I never knew.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know how often that happens. Because if it's because I guess my question is, what is less traditional? Champ going over at or Champ losing at Wrestle Kingdom, which hasn't happened in 8 years.
7 or 8 years, yeah.
Or Champ winning G1.
I think Champ winning G1 is the rare occurrence.
That's the more rare occurrence, which is saying something, because the other thing rarely happens too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to catch up on some matches though, because holy crap, I hear there's been a whole lot of good ones, and I've only seen the first 3 nights.
Yep.
So I am anxiously watching this. So I might be. I mean, I like staying up and watching this stuff. So I might. We're not going to live stream our reactions because it's just too much. But I might be on my couch watching as long as I can. Probably going to kick off 11:30,
maybe 12. I don't
something
know exactly.
like that.
But
Okay.
I'll watch it on Sunday so we can talk about it on Monday.
Yeah.
One other bit of news coming out of the G1 finals. New Japan Pro Wrestling has made a statement regarding the recent actions of Firing Squad, saying, quote, New Japan Pro Wrestling has made a decision to impose a 3-month suspension and fine to each member of Bullet Club OG. Is that what they're calling themselves now?
I guess so.
if they intervene in any G1 Climax 28 Tournament B block match tomorrow.
3-month suspension.
So no outside interference.
Does that guarantee they're going to do something?
Kind of feel like it.
Kind of feel like they made the statement. They're courting disaster right then, because that's sort of been one of the threads in the G1 too, is that these fools just keep on interfering.
Endless outside interference.
Endless outside interference, exactly. So that'll be very interesting. This is a new show, a new format. Let us know what you guys think. Is there anything else you'd like to... I'll put it this way. Is there anything else you feel people need to know about the week in pro wrestling? Let us know in the comments. Let us know if you think it's crappy and you just want to watch us play video games or something. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.